Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your answers.
세계경제포럼은 여러분들의 머릿속에 어떤 생각이 있는지 궁금해합니다. 권력가들이 여러분들의 마음을 읽고 싶은 이유는 사람들의 마음속을 읽을 수 있다면 완벽한 통제사회를 만들 수 있다고 믿기 때문입니다. 이들이 준비하고 있는 CBDC 또한 국민들에 대한 통제를 강화하기 위한 수단에 불과합니다.
이창용 한국은행 총재가 이제 중앙은행 디지털화폐 도입 논의는 더 이상 미룰 수 없는 시급성을 지닌 중요한 과제가 됐다고 강조했습니다.
Should you be looking into it seriously? Just what are your thoughts on CBDC?
I mean, as my colleagues at the Federal Reserve have talked about, we are examining it. I'll tell you, my personal bias is I'm pretty skeptical. I keep asking anybody at the Fed or outside of the Fed to explain to me what problem this is solving. I can send anybody in this room $5 with Venmo right now. Right? No, seriously. So what is it that a CBDC could do that Venmo can't do? And all I get is a bunch of hand waving. I get well, maybe it's better for financial inclusion. Maybe it's better for cross-border remittances. Maybe. Is there any evidence that it is? And, they say, well, what about China? China's doing it. Well, I can see why China would do it. If they want to monitor every one of your transactions, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. If you want to impose negative interest rates, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. And if you want to directly tax customer accounts, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. So I get why China would be interested. Why would the American people be for that? So anyway, I've said I think the crypto space broadly is 95% noise, hype, and confusion. I'm leaving open the 5% possibility that something useful could come from it. I'm still waiting.
연준 총재도 CBDC는 통제의 수단이라고 못을 박는데 이창용 한국은행 총재는 도대체 왜 대한민국을 중국화시키려는 것일까요? 왜 대통령은 CBDC에 대해 아무런 반대도 하지 않는 것일까요?
사람들이 마음속까지 읽을 수 있는 기술이 과연 존재할까요? 만일에 존재한다면 어떤 일들이 벌어질까요?
The technology now and digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go into a predictive power, and we have seen the first examples, and your company very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into a prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore, because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
닥쳐 이 병신 새끼야.
자, 클라우스 슈왑 같은 이런 사람들은 민주주의의 적입니다. 하지만 대한민국의 정치인들은 세계 경제 포럼에 매년 참석을 합니다. 대한민국 국민들은 전혀 동의한 적도 없지만 대한민국 정치인들과 기업인들은 이곳에 가서 다양한 지령들을 받아옵니다. 대대적인 이민과 난민을 받는 정책이나 인터넷 검열, 디지털 ID, CBDC, 탄소 제로, 이런 정책들이 세계 경제 포럼이 추구하는 것들입니다. 미래의 글로벌 엘리트 계층의 계획이 성공한다면 일반인들은 권력층의 머릿속을 들여다볼 순 없지만 권력가들은 일반인들의 머릿속을 들여다볼 수 있는 세상이 다가오게 됩니다. 자, 사람들의 마음을 읽을 수 있는 이러한 기술은 과연 존재할까요? 오늘 방송에선 2023년 올해 열렸던 세계 경제 포럼의 회의 장면을 함께 보시겠습니다.
It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love. Let's roll.
You're in the zone. Even you can't believe how productive you've been. Your memo is finished, your inbox is under control, and you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade. Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. You head home jamming to the music, with your work-issued brain-sensing earbuds still in. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for? You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived. Everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible. But I want to talk about it in a different way, which is the ability to decode brainwave activity. After all, what you think, what you feel, it's all just data. Data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. In fact, what you're seeing here is my brain activity while I'm wearing a simple device like the one on the right. We can pick up emotional states like, are you happy or sad or angry? We can pick up and decode faces that you're seeing in your mind. Simple shapes, numbers, your PIN number to your bank account. It's not just your brain activity here that we can pick up. We can also pick up your brain activity in different places, like as your neurons fire from your brain down your arm and send signals to your hand to tell you how to type, move. And that's what you're seeing here is a device now in the form of a simple wearable watch that can pick up that activity. And one of the pivotal acquisitions of the field, Meta acquired this company, Control Labs, in 2019.
이런 세상이 온다면 여러분들이 마음속은 물론 꿈속까지 들여다볼 수 있게 됩니다. 심지어 여러분들이 가지고 있는 창의적인 아이디어들, 이런 것들도 권력층들이 훔칠 수가 있는 것입니다. 결국 권력가들이 여러분들의 머릿속을 통제하기 시작하면 지배받는 계층들은 영원히 통제에서 벗어날 수가 없는 것입니다. 완벽한 봉건 사회의 실현이 가능해지는 것입니다. 자, 마음을 읽는 이런 장치가 미래에 상용화되면 우리가 일상생활을 하며 느끼는 분노 같은 감정 또한 범죄를 미리 막는다는 취지로 사상범죄로 분류될 가능성이 있습니다. 예를 들어 여러분들이 운전하다가 다른 운전자에게 느끼는 감정들, 텔레비전에 보이는 정치인에게 표출하는 분노도 범죄가 될 수 있는 것입니다. 그리고 여러분들이 느끼는 감정은 CBDC와 사회점수에 반영이 되어 권력가들에게 부정적인 감정을 느끼는 사람들은 감점을 받고 자유를 박탈당할 수도 있습니다. 아직 이런 미래는 벌어지지 않았습니다. 하지만 대한민국 정부는 디지털 아이디와 CBDC 개발에 박차를 가하고 있으며 많은 국민들이 깨어나지 않는다면 우리는 자유를 경험한 마지막 세대가 될 가능성이 높습니다.
We tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also we will have the technology to enforce that. those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
이창용 한국은행 총재가 이제 중앙은행 디지털 화폐 도입 논의는 더 이상 미룰 수 없는 시급성을 지닌 중요한 과제가 됐다고 강조했습니다. 이어 경제 디지털화는 피할 수 없는 흐름이라며 미래는 빠르게 변화하고 중앙은행도 가만히 앉아서 기다리기보다는 민간과 같이 경쟁하면서 기술적, 제도적으로 새로운 디지털 환경에 대비해야 한다고 전했습니다.